Good evening, Lake Orion. Well, it's a nice, warm, muggy day.
Not muggy.
Well, I wouldn't say muggy, but I mean, it's warm out there. I'm your host, and I am Between Taorminas. Yes, indeed, Lake Orion. This is Between Taorminas here on ONTV. You notice it's just me and Sammy this week. Sammy, how you doing?
Hanging in there. I'm just looking at an empty sea here.
For those of you who want to know why Ian is not here this week, we have to bring up this unfortunate incident that he had. Ian likes to play football on every Sunday with his friends, and Ian ended up getting injured. And he went to go see the doctor at 3:45 today. And he's probably still there. Ian, get better soon. But I'm going to give the kids a lesson, though. There's a reason why you don't play tackle football without pads. Now, yes, football is fun. Tackling football is fun. But at the same time, you should wear pads you should wear football pads if you're going to tackle. Or else you'll have situations where you'll get hurt. And this is what happened here, it looked like. So, Ian, get better soon. All right, let's talk about let's stick on football. I want to talk about the situation going on with the Detroit Lions. Mm-hmm. Calvin Johnson is reportedly, allegedly, considering retirement.
Yes.
Obviously, there's been a lot of rumblings that have taken place about Calvin Johnson and his decision to retire at the end of 2015. Do you think how much does this impact the Lions in both a negative and a positive way?
Impacts them in a negative because, one, you lose one of the best wide receivers of all time. Because you look at the Lions, they don't have, now Golden Tate now becomes your true number one receiver, yes. Which is, you need a deep wide receiver.
How about Eric Ebron?
Eric Ebron's a tight end, but you look at the Lions, this is a huge loss, losing Calvin Johnson. Another person that Matt Stafford can throw the ball to. This is disappointing. That it's like a Barry Sanders times 2 here. What happened? Of course, Barry, he's had 7 1,000-yard receiving yards, whereas Barry Sanders had 10 1,000-yard rushing seasons in his 10 years in Detroit. So it's like, and also it's kind of odd because both of them are retiring at the age 30 years old.
Mm-hmm. But do you think it's a good call, actually, in many ways, for Calvin to retire at 30? Because obviously the NFL is getting very, very, it wears and tears on you.
It's a wear and tear season.
It's a wear and tear. So, I mean, do you think that impacts his decision to retire?
I mean, it's wear and tear season. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Playing in any type of football is a wear and tear season. It tears you mentally, it tears you physically. Football season, it's a drag. You know what I mean? It can be a drag. It's happened in Pee-wee, it's happened in high school, middle school, college, pro. And, it's draining on somebody.
Not to mention youth football.
Not to mention, I said
middle school.
Middle school. I said those two.
You said Pee-wee, so.
Yeah, Pee-wee, Pop Warner. But you look at what's going on now is that, they're cracking down, and there's been a lot of football-related deaths. Concussions. There's been a lot of things, and, and I guess that's why Calvin Johnson decided to walk away from the game. Now, for the Lions side of things, it saves him $24 million off the cap, whereas the Lions are going to have to pay some of those pending free agents, but also they have a new general manager in place, and who knows? They could draft a wide receiver in the draft. They could draft him first round overall.
Do you think Matt Stafford was the reason why Calvin Johnson left in terms of?
No.
Do you think Calvin would have benefited, maybe stayed longer if he was the quarterback?
No.
Why?
No. Because because Calvin Johnson and Matt Stafford are close friends. And he told Stafford ahead of time about his decision where he went and talked to Jim Caldwell. So this was a decision that was made based on his heart and his family. He's got a son. He's got a family he's got to look after, and I think this is the perfect situation to look at it for him and his family.
Wide receivers have often, and Calvin Johnson's been one of, he's had some nice passes in the end zone that ultimately were not called for touchdowns. Do you think that decision with the officials, kind of messing around with not just Calvin Johnson, but also with Dez Bryant?
They do it to everybody in the league.
Do you think that played a role in Calvin deciding to leave? And do you see Calvin Johnson working in the front office for the Lions?
No and yes. No is because, the reason why I said no is because, it's a vague rule that the NFL has. It's something that's going to be addressed this offseason.
Yeah, I hope it does get addressed.
It's going to be addressed. It'll be addressed. And then, yes, I see him working in the front office. I think he will look very good as executive.
Do you see it being something similar to what Barry Sanders did, or do you think that he
could be a John Elway in the future,
or that you think he'll be more into or more involved with the organization?
I think he's a Barry Sanders. So
you do?
Yes.
So he's going to distance for a little bit.
He'll distance for a little bit, then come back. Yes.
Okay.
And I think who's your pick to win the Super Bowl?
I made mention to it a little bit last week. I don't think the Broncos stand a chance against the Carolina Panthers. I think that it's your classic passing of the torch. Denver's kind of like your old established, like the team that, whereas Carolina's like these young new kids on the block that are trying to take, whereas Denver's trying to hold on to their spot. I think that Carolina's going to beat Denver, and I think Carolina's going to beat them pretty bad because of Cam Newton. Also, Carolina's defense is pretty solid. And for Peyton Manning, this is the final hurrah. Obviously, it'd be an interesting storyline for him to get another Super Bowl, but I really, really think that this is kind of like Peyton Manning going to pass the torch to Cam Newton. And I think that Carolina's going to win the Super Bowl.
I like Auburn quarterbacks. And Cam Newton went to Auburn.
People in Alabama won't like you.
Yes. Who cares what people in Tuscaloosa think? I think this is the year that Cam Newton not only he has his national championship, he has his Heisman Trophy, he'll get his Super Bowl this week. I think Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers are going to go home with Super Bowl 50 in Santa Clara, California.
Who do you think Ian's going to pick?
Denver.
You think Denver?
Yes.
You know what? I agree with you. I think Ian will pick Denver. I've heard numerous people say that he was going to pick Denver.
Yes.
So you and I are both in agreement. Carolina's going to win.
Yes.
Mostly because of, you say it's Cam Newton.
I think it's Cam Newton.
I think it's going to be because of the defense. So do you think Carolina will be the new gold bearer in the NFL next season, or do you think it's still going to be like a team like Seattle?
I think Carolina's the gold bearer now, because you look at, they beat Seattle, they tortured Seattle actually, beat Arizona. Carolina, I think they've been a team that's been building, and this is a team, I think they're perfect. They're perfect. They're ready for this opportunity, and I think they're going to take this to the moment. I think it's just the year for Carolina. They've got the quarterback in place. They got a running back in place. Solid defense.
Is this it for Peyton Manning?
Yes.
You think that it'll be his last game?
This will be his last game.
All right. Well, when we come back to Between Taorminas, we're going to discuss some NHL.
What about Dragons?
And we're going to talk Dragons as well here on Between Taorminas on ONTV.
When I'm in Lake Orion and I want to catch up on sports, I watch Between Taorminas.
ONTV's 6th annual 5 or 5 food drive is right around the corner. On Saturday, February 13th, we will be live on air from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., raising food and money for the Orion Oxford Fish Food Pantry. You can help stock the shelves by bringing in 5 non-perishable food items or by donating $5 to one of our several drop-off locations now through February 12th. Or you can bring your donations to the ONTV studio on the day of our drive. ONTV is located at 1349 Joslyn Road right here in Lake Orion. Plus, stick around for family fun live entertainment and enter our drawings for your chance to win some great raffle prizes donated by area businesses. For more information, call ONTV at 248-693-3377. Help us help our community.
Sammy, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there. Got that food drive coming up.
That's on the 13th.
On the 13th, promoting my other show, Oh Wait Now.
I'd like to promote history now, but we'll see what the blank chair, or should I say Ian, wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to talk about the Dragons first?
Yes.
Okay, we'll talk about the Dragons. Lake Orion boys basketball had a very good win on Friday against Oxford. For Lake Orion has won 2 in a row. Lake Orion plays Birmingham Seaholm. Lake Orion plays Farmington Hills Harrison. Then they start resuming league play with Rochester again. Do you think that this is the beginning of a nice winning streak for Lake Orion boys basketball?
You know, when I look at this team, you know, they've got to be aware of the letdown with Seaholm. But I think this could be the makings of a good winning streak coming because you have David Gomez is playing very well right now. Noah Harris, when he's hot, he'll scorch the basket a little bit. You know, but also I think Jalen Wiggins coming back has really helped this team.
It's
helped this team. But when you look at this Lake Orion team, I still have concerns about they don't have a true big in the interior.
Right.
But they have a lot of hard workers. But I think this could be, they're in line for a nice winning streak. They have a favorable schedule coming up, even though it's road heavy. But I think this team is much better on the road than they're at home. And I think that a nice winning streak is what this team needs.
Point well taken. Lake Orion girls basketball. Nice win against Rochester Adams. It's been a up and down season so far. But explain that win to against Rochester Adams, what that means.
You know, the win against Rochester Adams, a 20-point win.
That was nice, I heard.
It described to me a lot of emotions during that game. Of course, you know, I announced that game, did book that game. There were a lot of emotions during that game. Yes, I know that this girls' basketball team this year has had a lot of internal issues, you know what I mean?
Ups and downs.
Ups and downs. Also, the emergence of course, we know about Maddie Novak, how she's been doing very well. Of course, Evelyn Witchmeyer's been coming off two tough injuries this past month. But also the emergence, I said this in my blog a couple of weeks ago, that this Lake Orion girls team needs a consistent third scorer. Of course, early on it was Cameron Coltrane who played, who had their three-point shooting. And then now you have the emergence of Tessa Nuss, who's actually been playing very well in the last 2 games. Only a freshman. She's averaged 10 points the last 2, which is a good omen. You know, she had 13 points the other night against Adams. Of course, now when I look at Rochester Adams' team this year, you know, the Taylor Smith experiment. Of course, she transferred in from Linden. It's been a complete disaster over there. To go along Maggie Rogers, of course, Rogers been doing a lot. They're not the same team as they used to be. Of course, remember last year Adams had Amber Jamison. And,
yes, I know.
You know,
I'm
that
more
crew.
focusing on
But when you look at, can I finish? But when you look at this Orion team, they still got some questions. Mental state, where they're at. I don't know where their mental state is at right now, but you know, it was a good win to get against Rochester Adams after suffering what I think was an embarrassing loss to Royal Oak. The way they played in that game, they looked out of sync. They just looked horrible in that game with Royal Oak. Whereas when they played with Adams, they played very well at times. They got
their league
but
play.
They still got to address their bench a little bit more. I think their benches still need some work.
All right, I want to talk about Lake Orion wrestling. Lake Orion wrestling won the MVP award at the Oakland Macomb Duels. They've got a tri-meet coming up on Wednesday against Rochester and Capac. Then they've got the league meet on Friday. Now, Lake Orion's only lost one dual meet, which was to Avondale, and they had a lot of starters that were out. Is Lake Orion the favorite to win the white in wrestling?
If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And, when I look at this Lake Orion wrestling team right now, I would say right now they are the early favorite because, with that Avondale loss, they beat Pontiac. Pontiac's a solid.
Pontiac's in the blue, though.
Pontiac, yeah, but they've beaten some good wrestling teams. Of course, they're in a non-league tri-meet with Rochester and Capac. Of course, both teams are not bad teams.
Right.
But you look at the wrestling, I just think right now they're not, as long as they're playing well right now, but I'm curious how they do when they get into playoff mode. I think they'll beat Stony Creek. I think they'll beat Stony. But I think you're going to have problems with Adams. Adams in wrestling, not the greatest, but they're still very good.
So, you notice the district for wrestling. They don't see Clarkston or they don't see Oxford in there. Does Lake Orion have a solid chance to win districts?
They have a chance to get by Adams. You know what I mean? It's not going to be an easy thing at all. I think that if they can somehow beat Adams, I think they'll win the district, but they'll probably see Oxford and Clarkston eventually.
In probably a regional, should they get
there far.
I'm going to talk Lake Orion cheerleading. They finished 4th place at their own invitational this weekend. Obviously the challenges of Rochester, Stony Creek, also Troy Athens. It seems like every year you're dealing with them. And then they got the league meet coming up on Saturday. Does Lake Orion have a solid chance, or is it going to be Rochester and Stony Creek?
When I look at cheerleading, they've been up and down this year. You look at what's going on with them. They have not. I mean, there were a couple meets where I was disappointed with them.
They won Northville.
They did win at Northville. They did win at Northville, yes, right. But a couple tournaments
Granville,
yeah. Whereas a couple tournaments, they were like 8th, at one tournament, where that was a disappointing result. But but right now, when I look at the league right now, it's right now Rochester. You know what I mean? It's Rochester's to lose right now. I mean, Stony Creek's good, Orion's good. They're right there, but I just think right now, the way Rochester's cheerleading right now, I just think that it's Rochester's to lose.
Lake Orion hockey got a win against Holland West Ottawa. They have played some games they've played well, some games they've not. They lost not too long ago to Rochester United.
They're a hit-and-miss team. They're not consistent. If you need consistency if you want to go far in the playoffs.
They got Rochester United.
United, which can be a very tough matchup. I don't know where the consistency is with Coach Nick Field's team. I really don't know where it's at right now. And I think by the looks of it right now, it could be if they don't address the consistency troubles, they ain't going to win more hockey games.
Any final thoughts about Lake Orion athletics?
Got bowling. Bowling won an Oakland County title.
The girls did?
Yeah, I was disappointed they lost to Bay City John Glenn, of course.
They're not bad.
Powerlifting, of course, they've been going up. They've been doing well. They're going on the way up
to Millington.
Up to Millington, of course. They got Port Huron. They've been dealing with Port Huron. Swimming, you know what I mean.
Swimming's been good.
They've been growing right now.
Really good.
They've been doing all right.
I think they're leading the white right now in swimming.
They're doing all right there in swimming. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
All right. When we get back, we're going to talk some NHL here on Between Taorminas on ONTV.
Hello, Oakland County. It's the Sammy Taormina talking OAA now. In it, we'll talk various stories ranging from the state to Oakland County teams affecting the OAA. Catch us here on OAA now.
Hello, Lake Orion. It's Anthony Taormina, co-host of Between Taorminas. I want to let you know of a new show called History Now. In it, we're going to talk about global, national, and political events that occur in our lifetime. We're going to also have guests and also have co-hosts as well, and also plenty of surprises. Catch us on History Now here on ONTV. Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on ONTV. Sammy, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
Something happened this weekend, the NHL All-Star Game.
Finally got it right. John Scott.
Why do you think they got it right?
John Scott. That's how they got it right. Because
why?
here's a guy, of course, we all know this guy's story. And,
Not
of course,
everyone.
he was part of the Arizona Coyotes. He played a little bit in their with their big club. Ended up getting got traded, got sent down to the AHL. He was very popular with the fans. He ended up getting traded to Montreal, and he was sent down to their AHL affiliate. But he still led the voting, and they voted him as a captain for the Pacific Division. And he ended up going there, and he was a captain of the Pacific Division of that team, even though the NHL didn't want him to come there. Mm-hmm. So, but I like this format a lot is you have the Metropolitan playing the Atlantic and the Central playing the Pacific, which kind of, and they added like 2 20-minute periods with the winner of each playing each, and it's 3-on-3, which is very good, very spirited for the fans. A lot of hockey fans love 3-on-3, and and they've experimented with this, and I think it was a complete success over at Nashville. And Scott had 2 goals against the Central Division. He won the MVP, and his team won the $1 million. Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, I am honestly against it because I like the old Eastern-Western Conference format.
I actually like this format because I think it's cool. It brings a lot to fans. It's popular. I like it because, but you know what I also liked about it? John Scott, he made this All-Star game enjoyable, watchable. A lot of ratings. It went up in this game. Mm-hmm. It went up in the roofs. You know what I mean? A lot of people watch it because of John Scott.
I want to talk about something else real quick. The Calgary Flames defenseman got suspended pending a hearing for hitting a referee, for cross-checking a referee.
Linesman.
Or a linesman, yes. Do you think that should have been punishable, or did you accept his apology? Because it looked like on the film it was intentional.
I think it was intentional because he didn't call it. And, but then again, that's not his call to make because it was supposed to be the referees. Now, if you watch the NHL, of course, if you see wearing the orange elbows, that's the referee. And it's kind of disappointing that he would cross-check a linesman like that. I didn't accept his apology. I wish if he was still playing, I think he would have got a 20-game suspension.
Do you think, how many games do you think he'll get?
He'll get 10.
Think he'll get 10?
I want him to get 20, but I think he'll get 10.
Gary Bettman getting a contract extension. I know many Stars fans are not happy about it. I know many Avalanche fans are not happy about it. I know that many Wings fans are not happy about it.
Horrible.
You know that Sidney Crosby's happy about it. What do you think?
Horrible. That guy is a douchebag to the entire league.
Oh, be careful with your language.
That's what I said. I mean, this guy is a complete moron of the game. This guy, he needs to go. He needs to leave the NHL. The NHL would be much better if he was gone. He's like a Sepp Blatter to the NHL.
Sepp Blatter?
Yeah. Sepp Blatter,
Yeah.
Of course, he's the head.
FIFA.
He was
Former head of FIFA.
I think that Gary Bettman.
Comparing Gary Bettman to Sepp Blatter?
Yes.
Why are you going that extreme?
Because Gary Bettman's a criminal. Because
Yes.
he's got way too much. He needs help. He needs He needs a medic. That's what I think he needs.
How ironic was it to see Gary Bettman reward John Scott?
That was ironic because I don't know because he was
he
one that truly didn't want to see him there in the first place. And now but all these fans wanted to see Scott there. John Scott is probably the best influence to hockey. If it would not surprise me by the end of the week, the Montreal Canadiens call him up because of his celebrity.
Yes, because he did become a household name.
He is now a household name, yes. He got a new car. Of course, his family is expecting twins. He's already got 2 children. I mean, this couldn't be. I'm more happier for John Scott, getting the recognition,
The chance to
the
play.
chance to play
the MVP
in an All-Star
award.
game, getting the MVP award. This is a great weekend for him. I kind of wish the Dallas Stars would get him.
It's also a great weekend for the NHL.
Oh, great weekend for the league. To experience their top players in the game, of course.
You heard Duchesne play country music.
Yes, he did. I remember
Wore the
that.
cowboy hat and
And
everything.
then, of course, Tyler Seguin apologizing to Canada for swearing.
Oh,
Yes, he apologized to Canada for swearing
jeez.
when he was doing play-by-play.
Also, Dylan Larkin did very, very well. He broke a 20-year record.
Fastest skater.
Fastest skater.
Good God.
And he's very young, too.
He's
And a
very
Waterford
young.
product.
I mean, he's very young. Local product out of Waterford. I think when you look at him, yeah, he's the future, but we'll see where it goes. But I'm very happy for John Scott.
Yes.
I think John Scott getting the perfect weekend for him. It was a perfect weekend for him. And the NHL starts back up tomorrow.
Yes, it does. Any final thoughts about the NHL?
When I look at the league, great weekend for the NHL. Great weekend for hockey. Of course, I know the AHL All-Star Game is tonight.
Right.
But it's a great weekend. Nashville did a very good job hosting the event. They did a great job. I like this format, how they play it. I think this should be a format for years to come. I don't know if it'll go in the regular season, but it'll definitely add a flavor to it'll add a flavor. And also I think it gained some new hockey fans in the process.
All right. In closing, we want to bring up the next week's episode of Between Taorminas. It's going to be a special day. It's actually my birthday.
Yes.
How you like that?
Interesting.
Also, do you think Ian Weatherspoon will be back next week?
Who knows? I would rather put Victory Green in this chair.
Why?
Because he's a god.
Bernie's better than Victory Green.
No, he's not. Because I'll tell you why Victory Green should be.
Bernie's better than Victory Green.
I'll tell you why Victory Green deserves to be on this chair. And it's because, one.
I don't want to sit next to Victory Green.
Yes, you do. Because
No,
here's
I
why.
don't.
Here's why. Because I know 3 people idolize Victory
don't
Green.
say. Here we go again.
Bill Reese, Eric Jennings, and Bob Bridges. They all idolize him.
Have them be Victory Green. Don't make me suffer through it.
No, Victory Green is a god and a role model for children.
I doubt that many people would agree with that.
They all agree with me.
They don't.
Yes, they will.
No, they won't.
Yes, they will.
All right. Any final thoughts on anything else?
Well, of course, like Orion's got a big week this week,
Yes.
especially in basketball. See home with Blue Bay Hills this week. Big game for the girls. LREP Blue Bay Hills.
Wrestling league meet.
So
Swimming league
league meet.
Cheerleading.
Yep, league meet. So
So-
we'll see what happens. It's getting in the nitty gritty. Of course, I can't believe spring is only 6 weeks away.
Isn't that far away?
Ain't that far
Hey,
away?
Groundhog's Day tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right, that'll do it for this week's episode of Between Taorminas. Catch us on ONTV. Catch us on the YouTube page. Catch our shows OAA Now and History Now. Catch us next week. Same time, same place. Have a great night, Lake Orion, and see you soon.